You are, according to Coach White and Dean, unintelligible. A rationally, nationally, and continentally ranked junior tennis player, a potential ONANCAA athlete of substantial promise. Recruited by Coach White via correspondence with Dr. Travis, here commencing, February of this year. The top of the page is removed and brought around neatly to the bottom of the sheath, at intervals. You have been in residence at the Einfeld Tennis Academy since age 7. I'm debating whether to risk scratching the right side of my jaw, where there's a when. Coach White informs our offices that he holds the Einfeld Tennis Academy's program and achievements in high regard, and that the University of Arizona tennis squad has profited from the prior matriculation of several former ETA alumni, one of whom was one Mr. Aubrey F. D. Lint, who appears also to be with you here today. Coach White and his staff have given us. The yellow administrator's usage is one the whole undistinguished, though I have to admit he's made himself understood. The director of composition seems to have more than the normal number of eyebrows. The dean at right is looking at my face a bit strangely. Uncle Charles is saying that though he can anticipate that the deans might be predisposed to weigh what he avers as coming from his possible appearance as a kind of cheerleader for ETA, he can assure the assembled deans that all this is true, that the Academy has presently in residence no fewer than a third of the continent's top 30 juniors in all age brackets across the board, and that I here, who go by Hal usually, am right up there among the very cream. Right and center deans smile profusely. The heads of D. Lint and the coach incline as the dean at left clears his throat. Belief that you could well make, even as a freshman, a real contribution to the university's varsity tennis program. We are pleased. He either says or reads, removing a page, that a competition of some major sort here has brought you down and given us the chance to sit down and chat together about your application and potential recruitment and matriculation and scholarship. I've been asked to add that Hal here is seated third boys under 18 singles and the prestigious Whataburger Southwest Junior Invitational out at the Randolph Tennis Center, says what I infer is athletic affairs, his cocked head showing a freckled scalp. Out at Randolph Park, near the outstanding El Con Marriott, CT inserts, a venue the whole contingent's been vocal about finding absolutely top hole thus far, which, just so Chuck, and that according to Chuck here, Hal has already justified his seat. He's reached the semifinals as of this morning's apparently impressive win, and that he'll be playing at the center again tomorrow against the winner of a quarter-final game tonight, and so we'll be playing tomorrow at, I believe, scheduled for 0830. Try to get underway before the god-awful heat out here, though of course a dry heat. And has apparently already qualified for the winter's continental indoors up in Edmonton, Kirk tells me, cocking further to look up and left at the varsity coach, whose smile's teeth are radiant against a violent sunburn. Which is something indeed, he smiles, looking at me. Did we get that all right, Hal? CT has crossed his arms casually. Triceps flesh is webbed with mottle in the air-conditioned sunlight. You sure did, Bill, he smiles. The two halves of his mustache never quite match. And let me say, if I may, that Hal's excited to be invited for the third year running to the Invitational again, to be back here in a community he has real affection for, to visit with your alumni and coaching staff, to have already justified his high seed in this week's not unstiff competition, to, as they say, still be in without the fat woman in the Viking hat having sung, so to speak. But of course, most of all, to have the chance to meet you gentlemen and have a look at the facilities here. Everything here is absolutely top slot from what he's seen. There is a silence. D. Lint shifts his back against the room paneling and recenters his weight. My uncle beams and straightens his straight watch band. 62.5% of the room's faces are directed my way, pleasantly expectant. My chest bumps like a dryer with shoes in it. I compose what I project will be seen as a smile. I turn this way and that, slightly, sort of directing the expression to everyone in the room. There's a new silence. The yellow dean's eyebrows go circumflex. The two other deans look at the director of composition. The tennis coach has moved to stand at the broad window, feeling at the back of his crew cut. Uncle Charles strokes the forearm above his watch. Sharp, curved palm shadows move slightly over the pine table shine, and one head shadow a black moon. Is Hal all right, Chuck? Athletic Affairs asks. Hal just seems to, grimace. Is he in pain? Are you in pain, son? Hal's red as rain, smiles my uncle, soothing the air with a casual hand. Just a bit of, let's call it a facial tic, slightly. At all the adrenaline of being here on your impressive campus, justifying his seed so far without dropping a set, receiving that official written offer of not only waivers but a living allowance from Coach White here on Pac-10 letterhead, being ready in all probability to sign a national letter of intent right here and now, this very day, he's indicated to me. CT looks to me, his look horridly mild. I do the safe thing, relaxing every muscle in my face, emptying out all expression. I stare carefully into the Ku Klux knot of the middle dean's necktie. My silent response to the expectant silence begins to affect the air of the room. The bits of dust and sport coat lint, stirred around by the AC's vent, dance jaggedly in the slanted plane of the window light. The air over the table like the sparkling space just above a fresh-poured seltzer. The coach, in a slight accent neither British or Australian, is telling CT that the whole application interface process, which usually just a pleasant formality, is probably best accentuated by letting the applicant speak up for himself. Right and center deans have inclined together in soft conference, forming a kind of teepee of skin and hair. I presume it's probably facilitate that the tennis coach mistook it for accentuate and thought accelerate, while clunkier than facilitate is from a phonetic perspective more sensible, as a mistake. The dean with the flat yellow face has leaned forward, his lips draw back from his teeth in what I see as concern. His hands come together on the conference table's surface. His own fingers look like they may as my own 4X series dissolves and I hold tight to the sides of my chair.